Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video, and as you can see we are sitting once again with a big smile on the Nasher. Another couple goals scored and that backdoor slam shut, as that now makes it 3 games in a row where we haven't conceded a goal. Now some people might jump in and say, CJ, it's an early cup competition, what are you talking about? It was against ANNAN Athletic, but hold on. Not only is that disrespectful to the opposition, and not only can you ever beat what's in front of you, but this is Rangers and Cup competitions, people. You've got to celebrate it, especially the Scottish Cup, where you know our record, especially recently, isn't it fantastic? But thankfully there were some fantastic things in today's video from a Rangers perspective, from moments to goals, to debuts, to returns, to frickin' celebrations. This game had a lot more going for it than maybe a lot of us were expecting going in to this game of football, because let's say you missed it through work commitments or anything, maybe you couldn't catch the actual game, maybe you couldn't see through the water that was on the frickin' lenses, but just say you missed the game, you had a wee Google when you saw, oh, Rangers 3-0 versus ANNAN Athletic. That's kind of what you're expecting. But ladies and gentlemen, you've actually got to look beyond the actual scoreline, and hopefully you stick with today's video, because there is actually a lot of things we need to discuss. Because again, was the end result ever in question? Obviously no, and again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but again, in these early cup competitions, the application sometimes actually is, and sometimes you can question players and everything that gets rotated in or given an opportunity, and they go into this type of early cup competition versus a lower tier opposition, and they kind of just limp through the game, you know what I mean? They do just the bare minimum to get the job over the line, and then they move on and they forget about this game. But thankfully it wasn't that game at all, and yes, there was a lot of rotations and that, but it had to be rotations. There was a lot of chances and opportunities given out to Rangers players, and for the most part, in my opinion, the large majority certainly took their chances, and I'm so impressed with the likes of Diallo, because we know he's a Nike athlete or whatever it is, with so much money around them and everything, so much hype, so many PR people around him. We've seen players with that type of profile before being put in this opportunity and given this type of chance and just kind of stroll about, you know what I mean? If the ball comes to me, I'll do son, but I'm not really going to bust a gut and get back. We've seen it many times over the years, no matter how long or how young or how old you actually are. You've seen performances like that against lower tier oppositions, but the best thing you could say about that laddie is he gave everything in that game. It was almost like it didn't matter who was playing, and I love that, and I didn't take that for granted at all, because again, we know he's skillful and that, but it was the industry side of the game that really ran out for me, and I'm very impressed with the young laddie, the way he was tracking back, getting stuck in. He was given a couple dunts what you're probably expecting in this type of game, but he was straight back up, didn't hide, and tried to make things happen. And again, the longer you watch today's recap, you'll hear his name pop up a lot in the game recap. But before we actually get to that, I just wanted to give him a shout out as an example of the way these players actually approached this game and applied this game, because the best thing you could say about Rangers in this game is he wasn't the only one. And I just wanted to mention that before we get lost in the actual highlights. It's not really about the opposition in these games, it's how you approach it and apply yourself. And for me, that is one of the biggest things I'm taking away for that game. That is a dressing room that is fighting for spots, because everyone that was rotated in and given an opportunity really played like they wanted it, people, and that's not always been the case if you've been watching many cup games and everything over the actual years. But let's go ahead and transition into the game recap, because there's another player that I want to talk about, because we talked about moments and fantastic things, but one of the biggest smiles that got all afternoon wasn't the fact that just helander was out there playing football, because that in itself made me smile, but the fact that the man was back in and he notched a goal in within 5, 6, 7, I didn't ken when the ball hit the back in it. Oh, I knew it was nearly taps off territory, people, because the cyborg stepped up, big boy header after a gorgeous ball in from Aaron Ramsey. And what a way to announce your actual return, and what a moment that would have been, not only for the fans seeing Big Phil come back and getting the goal of that, but just for him as well, the injury layoff, because think back to how well he was actually playing, not just at club level or anything like that, but he had finally just pushed himself into the Swedish team. He was starting to start games for Sweden, then the injury came and he's had to wait all this time. But what a way to announce yourself. Again, it wasn't the likes of Dortmund that he scored in his return game, but you can only ever beat what's in front of you, and it was just brilliant to see the big cyborg back doing what he does. Aaron Ramsey had a kneeling moment about the 17th minute of the game after he kind of twisted and turned inside the box. He was really involved in everything and so positive, and you can see with the forward runs what he's going to bring to this football team. But unfortunately his effort at that time was over the bar. Speaking of the bar, by the way, Sakala, even though you've dropped one of these, son, and you scored one of the most outrageous goals I've ever seen, I need to mention what happened around about the 22nd minute of this game, because the ball drops to him pretty much right underneath the frickin' bar, and somehow he hits the bar and balloons it over. It was an unbelievable miss that had me going like this, people, and you notice the eyes there. That is the dramatic Daniel Day-Lewis level acting here, people. No, the eyes were like this because that's what it was like if you're watching it on Premier Sports. Like this idiot who forgot to cancel his subscription and paid 6 months in advance. I've watched one game and I don't want to talk about it, but anyway, the footage was terrible because of the rain. You could barely see what was going on, but unfortunately for big boy Sakala, everyone could just pretty much make out that unbelievable freaking miss. Now Sakala would make it up to us in a couple minutes time, but before we do that, the ball was in the back of the net once again when Scott Wright gets down the right hand side, plays a nice ball into the middle for Kamal Roofe. Now I've seen some of the commentators not saying he's took a poor touch here and then he's just hit it, but I actually think this is just a striker's goal in every aspect. If you look at every bit of that, I think he's intentionally taken that touch the way he is to move it away for the defender, because he's got one thought in his mind, he's going to bend it into the bottom corner. That's just the way I look at this goal. It's a classic finisher's goal in my opinion, and that is what Kamal Roofe brings you if you give him the service and you let him have the ball. Wonderful goal from outside the box. No goalkeeper is saving it. It's 2-0 to Rangers and we are well and truly on our way. But thankfully for our boy Sakala's sake, we get to talk about the third goal in this game, which turned out to be the final goal, which I genuinely can't believe. But if you're ever going to finish a game off, if it's ever going to be one goal and then you're done, make it this goal right here, because this is gorgeous from every single aspect. It starts with our boy Ahmad, gets the ball. It's a wonderful defence splitting pass. No one's talking about this assist, but I want to talk about it, people, because it deserves to. Wonderfully weighted. Sakala is running down the left hand side and with his left foot kisses it, and the ball literally just finishes perfectly right in the bread bin, people. It was like Diamond Dallas Page dropping the cutter. That's the place that he put that freaking ball. And you saw the goalkeeper, you saw Kamal Roofe like that, you saw Aaron Ramsey like that, the defender was sitting there, and Sakala, even though he had a shocked expression on his face, then ran about and went and done Sue. That's right, people. The man done a Sue at ANNAN Athletic, 3-0 up in the Scottish Cup. If that's no shithousery, I dinna ken what is, people. And if you want a wee added bit of layer of shithousery, big boy Sakala has done more Sues than Cristiano Ronaldo in 2022. Now, I'm not saying which one's better, but you know who is. Now again, we did mention that was the last goal in the game, but it wasn't the last time the ball was into the back of the net. Nah. We were robbed of Aaron Ramsey's first start, first goal moment with a cheeky back heel. Something he had done a couple of times, especially at his days at Arsenal. By the way, the ball gets wonderfully put in from Big Safkovsky, who I thought had a really good game all afternoon. He puts it in, and then Ramsey, with a wee back heel, puts it in. Celebration, but the linesman ruining nights, honestly. You just know he hates Christmas, that lad. He hates happiness and joy. Was he right to put the offside flag up? Maybe. But did he have to do it? I don't think so. Whatever, people, it was offside, right? He got it right, but Aaron Ramsey's so close to his first goal in a Rangers shirt, which would have been a phenomenal moment and something that we really deserved going in to the end of that half. So 4-0 would have been generous in my opinion, because it was utter domination. It was just all about making some changes now, because again, there does come that point in the game when you look at the circumstances that you're actually in, the conditions, the surfaces you're playing on, and just the Valhalla level rain that is pouring down, that thankfully Brian Laudrup just went and stopped the rain going into the second half. But that's when you start to play it as a manager, kind of tweak things and make sure you come out of this game and not only the progression, which was well and truly sealed at that point, but making sure you get enough minute in people's legs, but you stay injury free and you give other people opportunities to shine. And I thought Gio got it absolutely spot on with the changes and tweaks that he made as the game went on. The likes of Ramsey, Helander withdrawn just after the 60th minute, with the likes of Lowry coming in, who really look... I don't even think I've got to speak about him yet because I wasn't making videos. Again, I took a wee break and everything like that to look after myself when he was really starting to shine. But what a player that boy is. He kidding on when he gets the ball, his feet, man. He's what's that move called? I'm calling it the salmon, but it's definitely no, people. What is it? What's happening here? My brain's just absolutely... He basically does this with the football, with the outside of his foot. He's just skinning people. What a glorious player to watch. And he's one of those players that you just smile at when you see play, because the way they approach the game and they play it, he just glides across the grass, and what a future he's going to have if he continues this rapid development that he's actually have. But he wasn't the only one. I thought King came on and he was powerful and everything at the back, got involved with a couple wee half maybes and opportunities for Anna, because again they were still playing football the right way. And I don't think I've really mentioned them, to be fair, but I actually want to give a lot of credit, because we've seen games like this and that go down, and then the dirty challenges come, then you have people spitting dummies out and just looking to hurt the opposition and everything. We've seen that many times, but full credit to ANNAN ATHLETIC in my opinion. I think they approached the game the right way. I thought they saw the game out the right way, and they actually tried to play football from the first whistle to the last. Did it always come off? No. Did they give a couple of opportunities away? Aye, but for me, they played football the right way. They didn't go out and spit the dummy and look to hurt somebody on their way out, and that to me is a credit to the club. But speaking of one of those mistakes, by the way, 61st minute gave the first real major opportunity in the first half, where Diallo, again, industry side of the game, no stop running, no matter the game's dead and buried. No, he's nipping about, he gets in front of his man, he then just glides past one, skips by the other, unleashes a left-footed shot that unfortunately is like this, people, right? But ends up kissing the bar and smacking over. But to finish up the second half, there was a wee couple in nearly moments. Sikowski, again, positive down the right-hand side, skins a guy, puts it into Kamal Roofe, but unfortunately Roofe can't get the header on target. Then another change was made, and we got to see our boy Charlie McCann, who I am very excited about, especially his future in a Rangers shirt. He's just got that poise and the way he moves and everything like that as well, and he came on the park and he nearly had a moment in the 76th minute as well, when he skipped by a couple and forced the goalkeeper into making a very smart save. Kind of low and hard. You always want to make it difficult for the goalkeeper, and he did that, but unfortunately the goalkeeper was there to stop a dream goal from Charlie McCann. But remember the name, people. I really think he'll be a player for us. The only last thing that we kind of need to mention about the game is, yes, we were denied a Stonewall penalty kick. I'm talking about first ballot Hall of Fame as the battery on the phone runs out, people, because even the phone knows that this should have been a penalty kick. Lowry, gorgeous corner, the ball drops to big Cedric, and Cedric Itten just gets rattled from behind. It just gets rattled from behind, and somehow the referee's looking at it and says no. So that's all I've really got to say about the game of football. What about you, people? What's your thoughts and opinions on not only the win, which again was always expected from this game, but the performances? Who grabbed your eye? Who were you very impressed with? Let me know down there in the comment section below, because that's all we saw and you can take from these early cup games. Who done themselves some favours and who sort of played themselves out? I thought Scotty Wright and Cedric Itten, in my opinion, kind of played themselves down, but everyone else I think took a massive jump up and showed everyone what they've got. That's reached the end of today's video. I've been Siege over 92. That has been Rocky Boy Johnson, because my food's just arrived and now he's smelling it, so he's actually awake for this. So let's wrap up today's video so I can get some dinner down into the gullet, people. So until next time, take care of yourselves, all the best, and bye.